Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Kill Bill Volume 2. I made a video on Volume 1 if you've not watched it already. Or it's got, yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Volume 2. I just finished watching it about 30 minutes ago, so I'm very excited to talk about it. I think Volume 2 is great. I personally like Volume 2 a lot more than Volume 1. I think there is a perfect shift in tone. Volume 1 felt very goofy. Volume 2 feels very good. I like Volume 2 a lot more. I think the character development of the bride is great. I think they show a lot of her character which goes into depth. And I understand that Volume 1 and Volume 2 were supposed to be one big movie, but it really seems like all of the character development was saved up for Volume 2. I think Uma Thurman is an excellent actress. In fact, I would say after Kill Bill, I've become a fan because she can act. And I would say, okay, so the person or the actor who plays Bill is David Carradine. Incredible. Holy shit. His performance. Okay, so they don't show him in Volume 1 at all. His performance in Volume 2 is great. Personally, every scene he's in is so good. His monologues are great. The Superman speech was arguably, I think, my favorite scene from both the movie. It's so incredible. I love it. I was so into the Superman speech. I was so into it, and it just was like, oh, it was a whole thing for him to get to his point. I know that was the whole point of the whole monologue, but I think it's easily my favorite part of both movies. What an incredible act. I was so into it, I was so captivated. I'm getting giddy talking about it if you couldn't tell by my voice. But yeah, his performance as Bill, incredible. What the wait from Volume 1. The Pai Mei sequence was funny. I didn't like it as much. I brought that up because that's another thing which stuck to me. Throughout that entire sequence, I felt like I was watching like a fever dream, and I was like, what is happening? Yeah, it's it was all right. I didn't find it that much. I know it pays. I know it pays tribute to old school stuff because I've seen old school movies which have a lot of that. But again, even Volume 1 did that to a certain extent. Me personally, I've not watched enough movies to really appreciate them. So maybe at some point, I will. But I think Volume 2 also had a completion of an arc. It was great. It was very satisfying. I will say this. Even in Volume 2. Now, Volume 1 and Volume 2, I prefer Volume 2, but even within Volume 2, I think the second half was much better. However, I don't think it's a perfect movie. I think one thing which I didn't like the most was how, what's his name, Bud? Bud ended up dying super abruptly. I really wanted Uma Thurman. I wanted the bride to kill all four of them separately. And they did that in the first movie with the two women, but Bud just ended up dying through Eye Patch Lady, and then Eye Patch Lady got, spoilers, her other eye gone, and we didn't even get to see her die in the end. So I felt like that was a bit annoying because I really wanted to see two more mini fights, because that was the best part of Volume 1. But I get Volume 2 was a completely different scenario. But yeah, I think it's good. I think unfortunately Volume 2 is not watchable without Volume 1. Like if you watch Volume 2, you're just gonna you can, but I feel like it doesn't hit as hard if you've not seen Volume 1 first. So unfortunately as a standalone film, it's not really gonna suffice for me to say it's perfect. Like for me, any film which requires you to watch a previous film too much to the point where it can't stand on its own is a bad film. Marvel. But I think Kill Bill will still do fine. I think it still does fine as its own standalone film, but having the context definitely helps. But yeah, I don't have anything more to say. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I was having a good time throughout. The second half was really good. I was having a great time during the second half. And this is why I like watching movies. They're good films. If I had to give it a rating, I would say it's maybe like an 8. I really liked Volume 2 much more than Volume 1. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.